What happens when a high-stakes debate at one of the world's most prestigious universities descends into a public slanging match? Well, we just found out. A scheduled debate at the Oxford Union, titled "The House Believes That India's Response to Pakistan is a Populist Strategy, Sold as Security Policy," has collapsed into a messy controversy with accusations of sabotage, deliberate no-shows and outright lies flying between the Indian and Pakistani sides. Let's break down this incredible story. Indian speaker J Sai Deepak, a prominent lawyer, has taken to social media with a detailed, blistering account of what he calls an organizational failure and a deliberate Pakistani gambit to avoid confrontation. His version of events directly contradicts a statement from the Pakistan High Commission in London, which claims the Indian side simply withdrew and handed them a walkover. So, who's telling the truth? According to Deepak, the entire event was on shaky ground from the start. He pointed out the potential for bias, noting that key leadership positions at the Oxford Union were held by individuals of Pakistani origin. He specifically named Musa Harai as the president, who he alleged is the son of Pakistan's Minister of Defense Production, and Raza Nazar as the treasurer. This set a certain tone for the Indian camp, who felt the deck might be stacked against them. But the real drama began just 2 days before the debate, which was scheduled for November 27th. The original high-profile speakers for India, former Army Chief General Naravane and Dr. Subramanian Swamy, had to pull out due to unavoidable commitments. This left the organizers scrambling for replacements at the 11th hour. Despite this huge setback, J Sai Deepak, who was already prepared to argue India's case, stepped up. He worked quickly to assemble a new team from within the UK, successfully bringing on board Manu Khajuria and Pundit Satish K. Sharma. The Indian side was ready to go, even with a brand new lineup and minimal preparation time. They were committed to showing up and defending India's position. Then, just hours before the debate was set to begin, everything fell apart. At 3:13 p.m. on the day of the event, Deepak says he received a call. The news was shocking. The Pakistani delegation, which included high-profile figures like former Foreign Minister Haina Rabbani Khan and Defence Minister Khawaja Muhammad Asif, had apparently not even landed in London yet. Based on this information, the Indian team, who were on their way to Oxford, made the logical decision to turn back. Why travel all the way there if the opposing side wasn't even in the country? It seemed like the debate was officially off. But this is where the story takes a truly bizarre turn, shifting from a simple cancellation to what Deepak describes as a calculated deception. Sometime after being told the Pakistani team was a no-show, Deepak received new information. He claims he got confirmation that the Pakistani delegation had, in fact, landed. Not only had they landed, but they were already checked into a hotel in Oxford, the very city where the debate was meant to take place. This revelation completely changed the narrative. If the Pakistani team was in Oxford all along, why was the Indian team told they hadn't landed? Deepak was furious. He took to X, formerly Twitter, to issue a scathing attack, accusing the Pakistani side of deserting the battlefield even before the battle begins. He suggested they lacked the courage to face a live, unscripted debate and had engineered this entire situation to avoid it. His criticism didn't stop there. He also aimed his fire at the Oxford Union's leadership, accusing them of allowing the prestigious institution's reputation to be dragged in muck. He implied the union had become a mouthpiece for the Pakistan High Commission, facilitating this charade instead of ensuring a fair and organized event. Deepak's outrage was echoed by others. Indian lawmaker Priyanka Chaturvedi also weighed in, mocking the situation. She tweeted, "Pakistan is crying again over an Oxford Union debate. This is for the record. Once again they have proved to be liars. Expecting any better from them was not even on my list." Her comment captured the sentiment of many who felt this was a deliberate and dishonest move. Now, let's look at the other side of the story. The Pakistan High Commission in London released its own official statement, and it paints a completely different picture. Their press release expressed regret that the Indian delegation had withdrawn at the last minute. They framed the situation as the Indian side backing out, thereby handing a walkover to the Pakistani team. The statement went even further, suggesting that the Indian withdrawal showed a lack of confidence. They claimed India was unwilling to defend its security policies in what they called a neutral and intellectually rigorous debate. They essentially flipped the script, portraying themselves as the ready and willing participants who were stood up by an unprepared and unconfident Indian team. So we have two completely conflicting accounts. One side claims the other faked a travel delay to sabotage the event. The other side claims the first team simply got cold feet and pulled out. This incident raises some serious questions. Firstly, about the organization at the Oxford Union. How could such a massive communication breakdown occur? Was the Indian team deliberately misled, as Deepak alleges? Or was it a case of chaotic, last-minute disorganization that was then exploited for political point-scoring? The union's reputation for fostering rigorous debate has certainly taken a hit. Secondly, it highlights the immense political tension that surrounds any India-Pakistan dialogue, even on an academic platform. What was meant to be an intellectual discussion about policy devolved into a public spectacle of accusations and nationalist rhetoric before a single word could be debated. It shows just how difficult it is to create a neutral space for these two nations to engage. J Sai Deepak's version alleges a cowardly retreat by the Pakistani side, who he believes were afraid to face unscripted arguments. The Pakistan High Commission's version alleges a forfeiture by the Indian side, who they believe were afraid their policies couldn't stand up to scrutiny. In the end, the only real loser here is the spirit of open debate. The audience, who had gathered to hear a robust exchange of ideas, was left with nothing but an empty stage and a bitter war of words on social media. The motion itself, which posed a critical question about India's security strategy, was never discussed. Instead of a battle of wits and intellect, we got a public farce. It's a story of accusations, counter-accusations, and a prestigious event collapsing under the weight of geopolitical rivalry. Whether it was a Pakistani gambit or an Indian withdrawal, one thing is clear: the Oxford Union debate became another casualty in the long-running, deeply complex relationship between India and Pakistan. It seems that even in the halls of academia, escaping the political battlefield is nearly impossible. What do you think really happened here? Was it a clever ploy, a last-minute panic, or just a colossal failure of organization? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you want more breakdowns of major events, don't forget to like and subscribe.